Alright, in this video I'm going to go through my hand and finger exercise routine. I'm just going to do it in real time so you can see how I do it. I go in this order, so I go with the extensor tension bands, then the grip strengthener, and then the dexterity buttons. So I start with the extensors. You just put that around your wrist. Yeah, and then just stick your fingers in the bands. And then this is the routine that I do. So I start with this motion where I just make my fingers together, they're all flat, and then my thumb is out here. And then I let it inward, let all the fingers inward. I keep all the fingers up here together and do sort of like a claw thing here. And I do that, start with like at least 3 times or something like that. And then you can move up from there as you see fit, but start slow. Hand injuries are no joke. So the next thing I move on to is splay. So same position as before, except now I spread the hand out. So just do that a few times. But the thing is, you notice about this is that the middle finger isn't really moving. So to exercise all of them on their side-to-side motion, just leave the thumb alone and like move the fingers from side to side, preferably without moving your wrist. So just do that a few times. And then the last thing I do per hand is go from the splayed out pose all the way to the compressed pose. So this is sort of like combining the things from before. Yeah. And then I move on to the second hand. And then same routine as before, so, extensions. And try to go as slow as you can. It's harder to go slower. Yeah, that's all that's necessary for the 2 hands from the extensor bands. Then I move on to the grip strengthener. So this, a lot of people kind of see this and just assume that this is the pose that you're supposed to take. And, this is one of the poses you're supposed to take, but actually there's a variety to go through. So first of all, you're going to exercise these 3 fingers right here, your thumb, index finger, and middle finger. So you just put the index and middle finger on one side of the handle and then the thumb on the other, and then squeeze. 2, 3. You can keep going if you want. Then what I move on to is exercising these 2 fingers right here, which I do by sticking those fingers against the handle with this upside down, and then the other end against my palm, and then squeeze that a few times. Then after that, do the same thing as the first step, except with just one pointer finger and the thumb. So like this. And then do the same thing with the middle finger and the thumb. And then once that's done with, you move on to exercising the thumb itself, which you do by mounting all of the fingers on one side and then just the thumb on the other side. You keep all of them together and then squeeze the thumb toward it. And then I like to do the same thing, but switched over in the other direction. And then I like to do it once with this thing upside down with it, just because your thumb will squeeze at a slightly different angle. And then finally, after all that, then you do the sort of traditional grip right here that everyone knows about. So in this case, you just got to be careful to do it a few times and make sure that you're not underusing these two fingers, because it's easy to do this squeeze and focus mostly on the stronger fingers, but you need to make sure that you're using all of them. Yeah, and then the same routine on the other hand. Start with these three. Do these two fingers here between the palm. Then the fingers individually again. Yeah, I'm trying to use just this finger, but this finger kind of naturally gets involved. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the grip strengthener. Then I move on to this dexterity thing. I'm not actually sure what it's called, but the main thing is you need to make sure that with these buttons, you put your fingers on these buttons, but the main thing you have to be sure about is that you are, on a per finger basis, you want to make sure that you are pushing down. That you're pushing down and you're not like pulling down. If you're like pulling down and squeezing around, that's not as good as if you were just at the top here and pushing down like this. So be careful about that. And I count it like this personally. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then the same thing on the other side. Make sure that you're pushing down and not squeezing around. In my experience, my left hand is considerably weaker than my right hand, so it's a lot harder for me to separate out my ring finger and my pinky than it is on my right hand. 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. And that's all.